Hello guys, welcome to another Android series, and in this series we are going to have a set of lectures upon Cloud Firestore. So this tutorial is going to give you a brief introduction of Cloud Firestore and obviously in the easiest way. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. First of all, we will understand what is Cloud Firestore, okay? So we will concentrate only on those points which are essential for us. So the first point is, it is a NoSQL database. So what do you understand by the term NoSQL? NoSQL indicates that we will not be able to run SQL queries in our Firestore database. So SQL queries will not run on Firestore database. So it is actually developed by Google for mobile and web applications. The second point is that it actually supports several platforms like Node.js, Java, Python, etc. So you can understand this. And the third point, which I found most interesting, is that it works in offline mode, thus keeping your app away from crashing due to any sort of internet problems. So if you have an app that is running Firestore and at any point of time your internet connectivity fails, then your app will not crash. Okay, so it is a cool feature. Now let us see how data is actually stored in Firestore. So data is stored in the form of collections, document and fields. So collections contain document and document contain fields. So before concentrating on any of these terms, let us look upon a SQL data model. So in SQL data model, data is actually stored in tables. So a table contains some sort of rows and columns, and you are familiar with this type of data structure, right? So now let us do a brief comparison between SQL data model and Firestore data model. So in Firestore data model, you can refer the collections as they are like databases. So what are databases in SQL? Databases are actually used to store tables, right? And in Firestore, collections are actually used to store documents. So if you say collections are like databases, then you can say documents are like tables. But unfortunately, you cannot say fields are like rows or columns. They are actually key value pairs. Okay? So let us look upon documents and fields in our next slide. So now let us look at a document. Okay, so this is a document with the name user123 and it contains 5 fields like name, age, is online, icon and location. So you can call the encircled ones that is present at the left part as their fields or keys, right? And the part that is actually present after this colon part is actually the data or the values. Okay, so the left part is the field or the keys and the right part that is just after the colon is the data or the values. Now look carefully at this document. You can see the data type of the values can be anything. For example, they can be integers, they can be boolean, they can be binary data, they can also be latitude and longitude. And in fact, look at the first one. A field can also contain some other fields within it. So you can also store this sort of nested data structure within your fields. Now let us look at a collection. So what are collections? Collections are actually root folders, or they are actually surface folders. Surface folders that actually contain documents within them. Okay, so they are collections. So here users is a collection that contains 3 documents, user1, user2 and user3. And each document contains some key value pairs. Okay, so I hope that you understood what are collections and also what are documents and fields. Now let us look at some of the key points that you need to know before getting started with coding. So let us look at 2 points first. So this is a collection, the left one with the name users and the right one is also a collection with the name users. So let us look at the number 1 point. The first point tells us that a collection cannot contain fields directly within it. Okay, so to repeat, a collection cannot store directly fields within it. So this is not allowed in FireStore. And the number 2 point is that if a collection contains some sub collection within it, then this sort of structure is also not allowed in FireStore. So to repeat, a collection cannot contain fields directly within it, and a collection cannot also contain sub collections within it. Now let us look at the third key point. So first, let us take for example a document. So you know that a document can contain fields. Okay, so you know that a document can contain fields. But you don't know that a document can also contain a pointer to a collection which in fact contains some documents. So here messages is a pointer to another collection that contains some sort of documents. So this messages is actually not a field, it is a collection. So it is a collection with name messages and it is not a field. Okay. So these are the 3 key points that you need to understand and keep in mind before getting started with FireStore coding. Now in the next slide, which is our last slide, we will see a nested FireStore data model. So here you can see a nested FireStore data model. So the root collection is a users collection which contains 3 documents, user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. And each document contains a reference to another collection, that is workouts. Similarly, the second one also contains a reference to workouts. Similarly, the third one contains a reference to another collection which is named as workouts. So if you apply this same concept to each document within your FireStore data model, then you are going to have some sort of structure like this. Okay, so this is a nested FireStore data model. So now you know all of the basic things that you need to know before getting started with FireStore. And trust me, you do not need to know any other extra things. Okay? So if you really learned something from my video, please like the video, comment in the comment box if you have any doubts, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay? So in the next tutorial we are going to see how to store and fetch data from FireStore. So stay tuned. And all for this today. Have a nice day. Thank you.